Hey, what's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. I am back from vacation. Me and the wife went up to New England, had a wonderful, wonderful time. We got in 5 states, 6 or 7 different towns. It was really, really awesome. So, just getting back home to Atlanta and getting settled and back into things. Wanted to do a quick video. This is actually a video I've been wanting to do for a while. I used to do a lot of videos about statistics because I feel that's something that's missing in the boxing media these days. You know, you look at other sports like baseball, they're very statistically driven. And we have some data, some stats in boxing that we look at. I mean, you can go to BoxRec, you could look at a fighter's record. There's punch stats and things like that out there, although those statistics could be much, much better. But I feel we don't do a good enough job sometimes at breaking down numbers. So I used to really, really enjoy doing videos about numbers and stats because sometimes just having that visual can really give you an idea, you know, just an indication of different trends, different things happening. Or sometimes if you're looking back at historical aspects of boxing, data can help with that. Anyway, this video is going to be centered around the United States amateur system, USA Boxing. And I wanted to take a look at the ratings and just show you guys the states where the fighters are from to put numbers to it, because I've been saying for years that in the United States, California runs this sport. The California State Athletic Commission, it is the busiest commission by far, several times over. It does more events per year, and not just in boxing, but MMA as well, but especially in boxing. More events per year than I believe Texas, Nevada, New York, and New Jersey combined. I know it has for multiple years in a row. But then also the Texas Commission is growing. And it used to really be seen as a secondary commission, probably still is by a lot of folks in the media, but that's going to continue to change as the demographics in this sport change here in America. And where the fighters are coming from increasingly is the Southwest. And if you include, especially if you include Texas in that, but the Texas market is exploding in the amateur scene here in the United States. So we already have so many professional fighters here in the USA from California, from Texas, just that part of the country, but you're going to see that increasing even more. So let me share my screen real quick. I just want to show you guys here on the USA Boxing website. You can pull up the ratings, right? And I'm talking about Elite Men, by the way. There are different categories, so we can look at juniors, youth, you know, all of that. But if we go to Elite Men, now these ratings haven't been updated for a while, so these are a couple months old. But I counted 170 ranked fighters, and you see it's by kilograms. We have 48 kilograms all the way up until heavyweight, which is 92 kilograms and above. Okay. And these are the latest ratings that they have posted on their site. They should have updated ratings, I think, in August, maybe September for Elite Men. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it'll be later this summer. Anyway, 170 rated fighters. And you see it gives the name and then the state that the fighter is from. Now, I took that and I created a little spreadsheet, just a real quick graphic, nothing special, just to show you guys the states that these fighters are from. So check this out real quick. All right, now again, this is very, very, it's not the most beautiful graphic if I've ever created, but over on the right, you'll see the divisions. And that's the kilograms, right? There's 13 different divisions there, and how many ranked fighters there are in each division. So it totals out 170. Over to the left, you will see the state, how many ranked fighters that state has. And then over to the left of the state, in very, very small print, I actually have the states rated in order of population, their share, their ranking, based upon their population in the United States. So the biggest two states in the country are California, which is number one, and Texas, which is number two. So it doesn't surprise me that both California and Texas are pretty much number one and number two every year in terms of the fighters that they produce in the USA Boxing, you know, amateur boxing program these days. That does not surprise me. What does surprise me is the numbers. Right now, again, 170 rated fighters. Texas has 31 of them. That's significant. That's almost 1/5. Guys, we have 50 states in this country, okay? One state represents nearly 1/5 of the rated boxers coming up. And again, this is elite men's. We're not talking juniors or any of that. We're talking elite men's, the most highly competitive amateur boxers America is producing right now today, this summer. Okay. 170 ranked fighters, 31 of them in Texas. And you see California second with 19. That's a little surprising. For a while, California really was number one every year. Texas has taken over, and it's not close. They're dominating. And then Ohio, which has the seventh highest population in the United States, is number 3 on this list. You know what's really surprising to me is New York. Now, New York, 4th largest state in terms of population, 4th on this list. That makes sense. But New York used to dominate the amateur scene and a professional scene because, of course, these things are all connected back in the day. And this is something that I've talked about a lot, that the New York boxing scene, the East Coast, Northeast specifically, boxing scene that dominated in the United States for decades. You know, you go back 100 years. That is really where so many of the boxers were coming from. And Chicago had a great amateur program. Illinois was producing a lot of great talent. You see here, they have 8 fighters currently ranked. Michigan was another one. But just that area of the country, you could even include Massachusetts, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, just over there, really dominated the amateur scene. That is completely changed now. There are still pockets where great amateur fighters are being produced, but here in the United States, by far, you still have some very strong communities in the Midwest and in parts of the Northeast, and even now the Southeast increasingly, if you include Florida. But it's really out in the West. It's out in California, it's out in Texas, but even states like Nevada have a good representation. Arizona has 7 ranked fighters right now. You wouldn't necessarily think Arizona off the top of your head, right? Hawaii has 6 ranked fighters right now. That's surprising. Here's what's really, really surprising to me, though, on this list. I look down, Michigan has 1. My home state of Michigan has 1 ranked fighter out of 170. Now, you think of the rich boxing tradition in a state like Michigan, 1 ranked amateur fighter in the Elite Men's division right now, the Elite Men's world, I should say, that platform. That's amazing to me. That's amazing. Michigan has completely fallen off the face of the earth. Now, I do expect with the resurgence of the Crunk program that will change in the coming years, and Michigan will get back on with things. But that's really surprising to me to see Pennsylvania on here only has 3 ranked fighters. That's very surprising. A state like Maryland with Baltimore, there's only 4. You'd think there's more fighters. Missouri has only 4 with part of Kansas City, but also St. Louis. There's only 4 ranked fighters in all of Missouri. That's just very surprising. New Jersey has 2 out of New Jersey. You just, again, traditionally in American boxing, you think a state like that would have a lot more representation, a state like Michigan, even Georgia, which is number 8 in the population in terms of, the American states. It's number 8, and it has 2 ranked amateur fighters. With a city like Atlanta, which is a major sports market, you just think there would be more boxers coming from there. So I just found this very, very interesting. Minnesota with only 2. New Jersey, again, with only 2. Anyway, guys, you see where the fighters are coming from. And there are still strong pockets, again, in New York, in Florida, which has always had good representation. Illinois, Chicago and that area is still bringing up some good fighters. But the states really, really running it are Texas, California, and Ohio has great representation here. But some of these, you could change 1 or 2, and it would change their rating. 1 or 2 ratings, 1 or 2 fighters, and it might bump them up from, number 5 to number 3 or something like that. But if you look at, and this is something I pay attention to, if you look at the, Elite Men's and the rated fighters and where they're from year over year, this is something I've really, really paid attention to over the last 5 to 10 years. Texas and California are the 2 states producing the most talent. And by far, the southwestern region of the United States. And I'm including Texas in that, okay? I'm including Nevada in that. I'm including Arizona. But that whole region of the United States, Colorado, I'd even put in there, that is producing the bulk of the talent. And again, it's not surprising. Texas and California are number one and number two. It's their share. It's how many they have. And Texas and California have 50 ranked fighters out of 170 ranked fighters in USA boxing right now. To me, that's very significant. And it shows, for the future that you're going to continue to see fighters coming from those parts of the country when they go pro. And you're going to see the fights and fight cards continuing to stay in those states. So I think California, which is already, as I mentioned before, that commission has a stronghold in boxing in terms of the most events, both amateur and pro. Texas is growing. You're going to see a bigger footprint in Texas. You're going to see markets like Dallas and Houston and even San Antonio and other parts of Texas continue to host fight cards featuring American boxers. You're going to see this more and more over the next 10 to 20 years. So I enjoy looking at the trends of this kind of stuff, because both nationally in America and internationally, this is something I talk about a lot on my platform, because I think it's important to see that. You have to understand your market. You have to understand where the action is. Believe me, the promoters are looking at this. And if they're smart, and the successful ones are smart, they're going to adjust their business model to include these markets in what they're doing, right? So anyway, guys, just wanted to put that out there. I thought it'd be fun to look at real quick. The Neutral Corner will be back next Monday on the Ring Digital YouTube channel, and I will try to do a Friday wrap-up this Friday on my personal channel, Montero on Boxing. So other than that, I hope you're enjoying your week. We are through July. We are into August. We've got a super, super duper heavyweight fight to look forward to later this month. It's probably the fight I've been anticipating the most all year to this point. And then we got some stuff coming in the fall that is going to be great too. So looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to chopping it up with you guys on the phones Monday. What am I missing here? Am I missing anything? You guys, like videos like this? You want me to do some more shorter stuff like this? Let me know, man. I'll try to do that. All right. You guys have a good one. I'll see you at the fights. Peace.